guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about my labor and delivery experience as a second time mom. There's a lot to talk about and I'm going to try my very best to structure this video and tell you guys all about how that day went in order. I'm going to take you guys back to November 9th, 2024. I was exactly 39 weeks pregnant with my second, and I had gestational diabetes. That was the reason why I was getting induced early. I gave birth the day before I was scheduled to go in and get induced. Just a couple weeks prior to turning 39 weeks, I was feeling a lot of Braxton Hicks. Those contractions did hurt quite a bit. They would like stop me in my tracks. I've never experienced any of those when I had Mavis to that extent, so I didn't think much about it, and I honestly just didn't think that I was gonna naturally go into labor on my own because I didn't have that with my first. And I know every pregnancy is different, like it's hard not to compare, but it was just very different the second time around. 4 o'clock rolls around Saturday morning and I was laying in bed with my daughter and my husband. We were all sleeping and I started to feel contractions. I just thought they were again Braxton Hicks because I was already experiencing that a couple weeks prior, so I didn't think much about it. So I would just lay in bed and just brace through each contraction, and it didn't hurt that much yet while I was still laying in bed. Probably after like 20 minutes I finally decided to get up and come and lay down on this couch specifically because I did not want to wake my daughter up or my husband. So I'm like, you know what, I just need to get out of the room and I needed the space so that I can move around. And I saw somewhere on social media when you're having a contraction to try to move through it. So I was literally like on my couch just standing, leaning against it and like swaying my hips every time I had a contraction. I was also like trying to lay down and trying to Google like if I was in like real labor, because I've heard so many people said that you would know when you're in real labor, and if there are real contractions you wouldn't be able to do anything else. So I was like, well, I'm still like able to move a little bit and I'm still able to Google if I'm having real contractions, then these probably aren't real contractions. It just kept getting worse and worse. Like my contractions were very close. I've also heard that when you are in labor and you're gonna give birth, you just feel like you have to take the biggest crap. So that's exactly what I felt. TMI, I was like super like gassy and I kept feeling the urge to push and the urge like I needed to go to the bathroom. I can't remember the time frames too well, but I think it was probably like an hour after being up because I didn't want to wake my husband up because it was still really early and I didn't want to have to wake my parents up early to watch Mavis too if we did have to go to the hospital. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll wait until 6 or 7 just to give, you know, everybody some time. And then probably after like an hour my husband finally woke up because he noticed that I was gone. That's when my husband came and found me and he asked if I was okay, and he asked if I needed to go to the hospital, and I was like, I don't know. I'm like, my stomach keeps hurting and I keep feeling the urge to push, and like my contractions are coming like every 5 minutes or so and I don't know what to do. And then he was just like, no, like we're going to the hospital. So I'm like, well, we have to call the hospital first. We have to call mom. And then I grabbed my phone and I called the hospital. I called the number that my doctor gave me and I told them exactly what was going on. My doctor had checked me probably like 2 to 3 weeks ago and I was already almost 3 centimeters dilated, and I haven't had to check my cervix ever since then because she was going to induce me anyway. So I figured, what's the point of checking? So I didn't have a cervical check ever since that first time. So when I talked to the nurse at the hospital, I told her exactly what I was feeling and how strong my contractions were, how much pain I was in, and how much I was dilated already to the best of my knowledge. She asked if I had like a bloody show or if my water broke. I told her none of that. After I got done talking to her, my husband called my parents and let them know that I was having stomach pains and that we're gonna go to the hospital and we're gonna be bringing Mavis over. So this was roughly around like 5 in the morning, I want to say. And then my husband's like, okay, like what do you need? So I told him to grab my wallet, grab my purse, grab my cameras, my phone, chargers, basically anything that was just last minute stuff that I wasn't able to pack. We already packed our diaper bag, probably just like the week before. I'm not gonna lie, the second time around I got a lot more lazy. I just wasn't as prepared as I was the first time, and I just had a lot of other stuff I had to take care of. There was just a lot going on at that time. I was laying on the couch and he was like running back and forth, grabbing everything, and also getting Mavis ready too. And I swear Mavis is one of the best babies ever, because she never cries whenever we transfer her from the car to the bed, from the bed to the car seat. Like, she was just a really good baby. While my husband is doing all that, I'm still on the couch racing through my contractions. And then finally, when he got Mavis out the door and our stuff out the door, I felt the urge to go to the bathroom. Like, I felt like I needed to push, and again, I felt like I just needed to take a big dump. I crawled my way over to the bathroom and I peed, and then I was just like, man, if I push right now, I feel like this baby's gonna fall out of me. My body and gravity was just telling me to just like push and like try to let it go. So that's exactly what I did. I sat on the toilet and then I pushed and I was able to go to the bathroom. When I feel contractions, I feel it down like on the lower half of my belly, and it radiates down through my legs. I had on a nursing bra, and then my husband had to put some sweatpants on me and throw a robe over me, put shoes on me, and help me walk out of the house and into the car. At that point, I was like stressing out if I was gonna have any like bad contractions during the car ride, because my parents are like roughly like 10 minutes away. Thank goodness I only probably had about like 1 or 2 contractions on the way going to my parents. I just remember that the car ride wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. And then we got to my parents' house. My husband took out Mavis. I felt so sad because I didn't get to say bye to my daughter like the way I wanted to. I originally wanted to give her like a really big hug and just kiss her, smother her, and let her know that, you know, mommy's going to the hospital and mommy will be back with baby sister. And I felt really sad that I didn't get a proper goodbye to her. Like, I didn't get to see her, I didn't get to kiss her, and like all that was just thrown out the window. And now I'm here, I'm in pain, I have to get to the hospital because I don't know if this baby's gonna come out right now or not. We had to enter through the ER department, so my husband parked his car, grabbed a wheelchair, and then set me down on the wheelchair and then wheeled me in. And then the whole time, like while they're like asking me questions like for my name, my date of birth, like just information, my eyes are just closed like this, and I'm sitting there like this in the wheelchair. And then they asked my husband to like move his car, and then I'm like sitting there and just literally answering them with my eyes closed, because that's how much pain I was experiencing, and I just did not want to look at anybody. Like, I've learned that when I'm in contractions or if I'm in like a lot of pain, I just tend to close my eyes so that I could block everything out and just really focus on me and what I'm feeling. I wanted to call labor and delivery department before I went because I wanted them to know that I was coming. I didn't want to be asked 100 questions why I'm there, so I let them know that they are expecting me. So they're like, okay, like a nurse is gonna be down to take you upstairs. And so I'm like, okay, great. Is it gonna take him like 20 minutes, like 30 minutes in my head? Because I'm like, if it takes forever, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. But luckily, like within like a couple minutes, a nurse came down and just wheeled me to the labor and delivery department. So before they actually put you into a room, they took me into the triage room, which is where I have been before with this pregnancy because of my low fluid that I was experiencing. So I was familiar with the room. And then she had me lay on the bed. She asked to check my cervix, but during that time I was going through a contraction, so she's like, okay, we'll let this one pass. And then right after it passed, she checked my cervix, and she's like, yeah, you're like 6 centimeters dilated. So she like got me back up and was like, let's get you into a room. It felt like a movie scene where they were just like getting things ready as fast as I can. I did test positive for my first and second pregnancy for the group B, so I have to have an antibiotic run through me for about like 4 hours before I give birth. That's what my doctor wanted me to do. Since it was a Saturday and my doctor wasn't working, I had another doctor that actually delivered me, and so they got me into the room, got me on the bed, got me like ready and everything. When I got to the labor and delivery floor, I asked her how soon I could get an epidural because I was just in a lot of pain. Like, I can bear through it, like I know I can, but man, it just freaking hurts. and everybody has a different pain tolerance. I felt like my bones were breaking. Like I could feel my stomach contracting, and I could just feel the vibrations go down my leg, and literally you just have to let it pass. It's not a pain where you can like rub it out. You feel it so deep within your body. I got on the bed, I changed out of my clothes, I got into a hospital gown, and then all these people came in to like help assist her get things ready. And she was able to find someone to come and give me my epidural, which was amazing. The guy did so good. This time I had 3 guys that were in the room with me, which is the guy who did my epidural. There was a student EMT that was doing rotations, and the doctor that delivered my daughter was actually also a guy as well. This was not what I particularly wanted. Of course, I prefer like a female staff. I know that makes a lot of people uncomfortable because I am one of those people who just prefers female like medical workers and my level of comfort, but at that point you literally just have to get that out of your head. Like these are people are just here to do their job. That's all it is. I was more prepared this time for the IV because I remember how bad it hurt with my first pregnancy when they did it. And this time I still remember that pain so well that when she was trying to do an IV, I was already anticipating it to help me prepare for how bad it was gonna hurt, but it actually ended up poking me on both hands. After all that, I got an epidural. The guy did so good with the epidural that my body was like starting to like relax, like the medicine was like kicking in, and they could just tell that my whole demeanor was just a lot more calm, and I was more comfortable, and I was able like to talk to them, and I just looked happier, of course, because I wasn't in pain anymore. I didn't experience this with my first labor and delivery, but I was shaking so bad. It felt like one of those like winter mornings when you wake up and it's just so cold and where your body is just shaking non-stop. They had to give me medicine for the group B. I also met the doctor that was gonna help deliver my daughter, and he was a younger doctor, and he was very much like get to the point. He doesn't beat around. My doctor originally wanted me to do the antibiotic for 4 hours first. He said that as long as you can get like 2 hours worth of it, like you'll be okay. I knew he wanted to like have me have my baby first because he had like other scheduled surgeries that he needed to do. I was so exhausted that I literally had no energy to push. And I also have really bad heartburn when I'm in labor. Everything is just like up here, and I feel like I just need to like puke, and I just felt really crappy. Like heartburn during like pregnancy is one thing, but like feeling them in like labor is like a whole nother level. It's just very uncomfortable, and I don't like it at all. I did have to take some Tums to help with the acid reflux. So after the epidural, after relaxing for a little bit, my doctor did pop the water. I can't remember much because honestly, like when you're in labor, you're kind of like in a brain fog. So I just remember they had to give me something, and then literally like 30 minutes after that, my doctor was like, "Are you ready to push?" And I was like, I guess, but I was so exhausted and I had like no energy. And then I just told my husband, I'm like, dude, like I'm so tired, I can't push right now, and if he needs to go and take care of other people, like go ahead, like I don't care. I just told my nurse that, you know, I don't have a single ounce of energy in me right now to even push, so if he needs to go and take care of other people so that I can get a little bit of rest, like I am perfectly fine with that. Like I really don't care. And she also agreed, because when she checked, she's like, yeah, you can like wait a little bit before you start pushing. So she did let him know, and then it was probably like a couple hours after, because I had eaten around like afternoon. I try to sleep, like my body wants to rest and my brain wants to shut off so bad, but it just like doesn't. I was also very hungry because I didn't eat anything since like 7 o'clock the night before at his cousin's house. They do check my blood sugar every few hours because I had gestational diabetes with my girl, so they have to monitor my blood sugars to make sure that it's okay. I did end up like snacking on like a cheese stick. I really don't eat much at all like when I'm in the hospital because of being a gestational. They're cautious about like your diet and giving you food and making sure that you're not going to eat anything that's going to spike your sugar. You're pretty much on like a strict diet when you're in the hospital. After like an hour and a half, my nurse comes back in and lets me know that okay, like we can start pushing. I just like looked at my husband and I just like started crying. He just asked like if I was crying because I like missed Mavis. I'm like, I missed her, and in that moment, like I just thought about, I don't know, well, like why am I getting emotional right now? I just remember feeling so overwhelmed that Mavis wasn't gonna be my only baby anymore, and I felt like I didn't spend enough time for her. Like, I just had so much mom guilt, like laying on that hospital bed knowing that, okay, literally within like 15-20 minutes our life is gonna change. Like, I know I had this baby in me for the past 9 months, but it's just so much different when they're physically like in front of you. And the thought of knowing that we weren't gonna be a family of 3 anymore, Mavis wasn't gonna be my only child, and I was gonna have another little one, and I just had a lot of like emotions that came through my mind at that time. And it's bizarre. Like, it's one thing when your life changes when you find out that you're pregnant, but when you go through labor and you give birth and your baby is like physically like in front of you and you're holding them, it's just a totally different feeling. I cried like a little bit, and then my husband like wiped my tears, and then we started pushing, and then finally like the doctor comes in, and then we have like all these other people in there that are gonna help with like the process. And this time they actually had a nurse that was gonna take pictures for us, which is really sweet. I didn't have that with Mavis, so I'm very grateful that she was there, and she was just like snapping away on my phone, like recording. She was just like the content creator. So right as we were gonna like start pushing, the doctor decided to ask my husband if he wanted to help assist him with the process. My husband was like a little skeptical. I was like, just do it. You're not gonna get this opportunity all the time, and honestly, like, how amazing to help like deliver your baby. So they gowned him up, and that was like one of the most like exciting part during this whole process, was being able to share the experience and have him also like help assist with like Edith like coming into this world, which is so bizarre. And the lady that was like taking pictures for us, she was like, yeah, give me the phone, like I'll take the pictures. And so we give it to her, and she just like snaps away. So we got some very graphic but also heartwarming photos of Edith coming into this world. Very grateful that the doctor was kind enough to offer that for Kong and let him experience that and catch his daughter. I probably pushed for about 10-15 minutes, and she came out, and yeah, I had my baby, and I had her on my chest, and then I just like held her. They like of course wipe her down, check to make sure she's okay, and then after all of that's done, the doctor is still like assisting and taking care of everything that's down below. The student EMT also came back in at this point to help, and I couldn't remember much about my bleeding. The doctor was talking to me, but honestly, like now, like when you try to think back about it and try to remember, I just can't really recall exactly what he was saying to me. But I just know that they had to give me 2 shots of Pitocin, 1 on each thigh, and good thing I was still numb, so I didn't feel any of that. My epidural worked so well that I was still able to move, but my legs felt very heavy, so I still felt some pressure. And the student EMT also helped assist with like pressing down on my stomach. And so the first time the doctor was like, okay, do 15 pounds. So he like pressed down, and then I guess that didn't work, so the doctor said, okay, 20 pounds. So he put like more pressure, and I think that helped with like just getting like the blood flow. Like, I don't know, whatever that needs to happen after like you give birth for them to like be able to take care of you down there. And then he like stitched me up and all that, and then once they were all done, it was time for me to get clean. They turned off the epidural. They pretty much took all the wires off of me, and I literally felt like a USB cord with all these wires like connected to me. And my legs were still so numb that I couldn't get off the bed, so they had to like help me, and they put you on this thing that wheels you. So I like sat on it, and then they wheeled me into the bathroom, and then the nurse walked me through the whole process of like, you know, preparing a pad, a diaper, your tucks. So they teach you how to take care of yourself. They also have to catch your pee, so it took me a while. Like I sat there for a little bit, and because they have to check like I think how much you pee or something like that. And then she put me back onto the little rolling thing, and then pushed me back out onto the bed. I'm so short that my foot barely touches the ground, so I'm kind of like on my tippy toes. So they sat me on the bed, and I was like trying to scoot up on the bed, but I couldn't. So the student EMT literally just puts his arm underneath mine, and then just like lifts me like right up, because he's a pretty big like strong guy. Like I was like, okay, well thank you, like that made it so much easier for me. So that was pretty much it of the whole laboring and delivery process. 40 minutes to an hour afterwards, when they were taking care of baby, I was sitting on the bed, and then I just told my husband that I felt really nauseous and I felt like I needed to puke so bad, and I had my husband grab me like a garbage can. I just started like puking profusely. That went on for about like 5 minutes, and then I was okay for a little bit, and then 20 minutes later again, I just started puking again. So I don't know if it was because of the medication or what it was. Like, I have no idea, because I didn't experience this with Mavis. So everything that I went through the second time was nothing I experienced in my first time as a mom. When I had Edith, they estimated her to be like 6 pounds and a few ounces, but she actually came out 7.5 pounds. So she's 3 pounds heavier than her sister. I just remember now that so many nurses had asked us if this was like our first baby, but I told them no, like this is our second, but we've never experienced anything like this before. But yeah, that's pretty much like my whole labor and delivery experience that I can remember as a second time mom. It was a lot more different compared to my first one, but everything went well. I'm just very grateful that I didn't have to have a C-section. That's my biggest fear, is not preparing for that and then having to make a last minute decision and take that route. Not saying that it's bad, like you pick whatever works for you. At the end of the day, whatever is gonna help you, save you, be in your best interest, then that's the best way to go. So I think that's everything that I want to share, at least everything I can remember right now. But yeah, sorry this was a very long video. I've been wanting to do this video for so long, but I just haven't had the time to be home by myself without the kids. If I do forget anything or miss out anything, I can always share it in like another vlog. So if you are interested in like lifestyle, mommy vlogs, all of that, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can always be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed filming this because it was just really nice to relive that whole memory as I was like telling you guys the story. I will also link my labor and delivery vlog video up here if you guys haven't seen it yet. If you enjoy these kind of videos, please give me a thumbs up so I know to make more talking videos if you guys prefer one-on-one conversations like this. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.